In the meantime, there's a report from Diana Rossini, which is backed up by Micah Parsons actually posting this himself. The Micah Parsons-Cowboys relationship has deteriorated to the point where the star pass rusher is considering drastic measures, which include a trade request or even a declaration that he is severing his relationship with the team per multiple sources familiar with the situation. The two sides remain far apart heading into the second week of training camp and are not currently negotiating. Here's Micah Parsons in his own words. Ready? Okay. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show I wanted to be a Cowboy, wear the star on the helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again, the team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. By the way, this is last month. This is Jerry Jones, the owner of the team. It's a little bit what he was talking about. This is Jerry Jones talking about Parsons.
Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
So, look, it's a negotiation. Do you want to know my level of freak out? There it is. And I'm not a Cowboy fan, but even the negotiations are silly. The Cowboys have to do nothing. They don't have to negotiate at all, and they can simply franchise tag him for the next 3 years. Nothing he can do about that. Now, he'd be compensated at an average of the top 5 salaries at his position in the league. It would hamper the Cowboys' ability to field a really good defense or maybe even good offense because it take up such a large portion of their salary cap. All those things are true. But between scrubbing whatever from social media, whatever you want to call it, and like, well, my agent wasn't present. Like, if you wanted your agent there, your agent could have been there. You know, this is not like your Miranda rights. We're like, hey, you didn't mean me my Miranda rights, and I could have a lawyer here. Like, you can have an agent there. You can have an agent there. And I'm sure part of the discussion, we talked about this a lot. We'll talk about it with Mark Dominic. The extended years, all the language that includes non-guaranteed stuff, that's more for the agent than for the player. That's for the agent to go, see, look at what I got, Micah Parsons, $280 billion. Like, yeah, well, there's like 120 guaranteed million. No, I got $280 billion for Micah Parsons. Non-guaranteed, but that's because the NFL owners don't want to guarantee stuff. Like, come on, dude. The guess is that the agent wanted just some obscene, change the position, change all the scale of the position. The team said, hey, Micah, we're good here. You want to be here. Let's kind of try and figure this thing out. It wasn't going the way he thought. He reached back out to the agent. The agent's like, wait, you were negotiating without me there? We're out. Trade me right now. But from Russell Wilson back when he's in Seattle to Tyreek Hill to, like, you just kind of go through it. All these guys, they all do the same thing. Now, if the Cowboys want to trade him, like if somebody's going to give him 2 first-round picks and they don't think they're a playoff team, then you trade Micah Parsons. No big deal. But Parsons has gotten hurt. He does do his podcast, which can cause him to be, he says things that you don't need to be saying in a public forum about his team, about football, about whatever. And he's a star, but he was better in the old system, not the new system. So, yeah, Jerry Jones has every right to go, like, I got to be cautious about how much money I give guaranteed because this guy got hurt last year. He's going to get older. He plays really hard. Maybe he's injury prone. I don't know. So I don't know how you feel about it, but my feeling about it is Micah Parsons will be a Cowboy. He'll play for the Cowboys. They'll acquiesce and give him some sort of new contract. He'll claim victory. Cowboys will claim victory, and he'll play the rest of his career for the Cowboys as long as he's good. Till he's not good, then they get rid of him. How do I know that? Because that's what happens with all these guys. And, oh, yeah, by the way, all the hissy fits, all the posts on social media, it does feel like a lot more than Emmitt Smith sitting a couple of games or even Ezekiel Elliott threatening. It's true. But part of that is that's the generation, and that's who Micah Parsons is. You know, he's tried to carve a path for himself off the football field with his podcast and being a great interview, as well as a tremendous football player. And so because of it, I think he thinks this is the normal course of action. But this is no different than pick any guy we want that end up signing a deal to remain with their team when they're under contract for their fifth-year rookie option. And it sounds good, it looks tough, but we all know. We've watched the Cowboys for years. Jerry will acquiesce. Jerry will give him a new contract. They'll pretend like they're best friends, and we move on. Do any of you guys in the studio think differently? I mean, I can't see it going any differently than that. In any way. That would go counter to most everything we've seen from Jerry Jones during his tenure, especially the last 15 years or so during his tenure. No chance. Yeah, we're just like let that guy walk, or we're going to trade him on his demands. No thanks. No thanks. I don't see it. I see this as negotiating tech. This is no different than you're in a car dealership and the last line of defense you have is to walk out the door and hope they call you back. Yeah, no, I'm walking out the door. Yeah, I'm walking out the door. You walk out the door like, all right. And the Cowboys, they've seen these trade requests in the past. I'm sure they're not flinching. He's still going to be a member of the Cowboys unless somebody wants to make them some ridiculous offer. And then they'll be like, eh. And that's really what these things are. These things are really a cry to the rest of the league, hey, come trade for me. The problem with trading for Micah Parsons is you're going to trade for him, going to take you at least 2 first-round picks to get him, and then you have to give him the biggest contract anyone's ever received at that position. Otherwise, he doesn't want to go there either. And you're in the same position. So we do this thing as fans and as broadcasters where we act like Jerry Jones should just write a blank check. Well, there's a scale there. I have no doubt they want to keep him. I have no doubt they want to compensate him. But there's somewhere in between wanting to keep him and a contract that unsettles the entire apple cart and where the Cowboys want to get to, and that's where negotiations land.